All right, so there's only two questions that were asked to go over. The one was the sales tax, and the other one said glass, but in the other questions, there was nothing that said anything about glass, so I'm assuming it was the class one, CLASS instead of GLASS, and it was just a mistype. So we're going to go through these two questions. So Lily and April go shopping, and their subtotal is $325.45. If the sales tax is $8.62, which of the following does not represent their total? So when we have a sales tax, if you go to the store here in Japan and you'll see like two different numbers, you might see one that says like 480, and then the next one here might say like 520, a little bit smaller on the side. This number is after the tax is included within your purchase that you're about to make. So when we pay taxes on something, we're paying an additional amount of that percentage on top of whatever it originally costs. So Lily and April go shopping, their subtotal, so that means without any taxes, is $3.25.45. They're paying 8.62%. So that means they're paying an additional one. So the ways, some certain ways that you can do this is you can first just multiply this number by 0.0862. So we can multiply by the tax that we have. And then whatever that value is, because here it is in multiple choice, so whatever this value is, we can add, so whatever 8% of that is, we add it back to the original amount. And that will tell us our entire amount after we pay taxes, because we're paying an additional 8.26% on top of what we spent. So this is our original bill that we have. This is 8.62% of it, and now our new bill is them to add it together. So when we're paying taxes, it's an additional amount. So this here is one way that we can represent it, which is B. We can't represent it by adding these two together, because when we're taking a percentage of something, it needs to be multiplying. So C cannot work. And then if we actually were to go ahead and multiply this $325.45 by the 0.862 or 8.62%, this does give me 28.05, so $28.05. So then another way that we can represent this is by showing the actual amount of $28.05 is the tax that we're paying. And then another way that we can represent this is if I'm having, let's just say I have 50, and I'm taking 100% of 50. Well, 100% of 50 is multiplying it by just 1. So if I'm going to increase what I'm going to, let's say we're doing 110 or 115%. Well, 100% we know is 1, and we're increasing it by an additional 15%. So 115%, this can be rewritten as 1.15. So we can do 50 times 1.15. Or in the sense of this taxes, we know that 100% is paying the full amount that we have. And then if we're going to pay an additional 8.62%, we can add that into it and get, well, instead of us having to do multiple like steps of this multiplying, we can just multiply it by 108.62%, because that will give us the original 100 amount that we have plus the additional 8% that we have to pay, which is represented here. So we can add these two together because they're like terms. So then we can show this as multiplying, while the original amount is $325.45. And then from there, it's going to then be, that's the original amount that we have. And then this can be times 1.0862, which is this written as a decimal. So we can just multiply that, and since it includes the increase, it's going to give us the final amount. So A, B, and D are the ones that would represent, this says which one does not represent their total. So A, B, and D do represent their total. So the one that does not represent their total is C. So C will be the answer. On your test here, though, there won't be any, it's not going to be multiple choice. Maybe a question like this could be, but for the most part, everything's going to be open-ended. So you have to be able to show you know what you're talking about. All right, so the Google form was filled in, the one with glasses, but no question said anything about glass, so I'm assuming that you meant class. So we'll go through this one here. So it says Kickbox Forever produces kickboxing classes. They charge for every class and also charge a one-time registration fee of $20. 6 friends each registered and took a kickboxing class. The total for all 6 of them was $150. Which equation solution shows the price of one kickboxing class? So when we're doing this, we look and say, okay, they charge for every class and also charge a one-time registration fee of $20. So that one-time registration fee is never going to change. It's always going to be $20, no matter what. but that's for per person. All right, so each person has to register for this class. So 6 friends took this. So the way that we can represent this is, one, we have the cost of the kickboxing class. So they use K for all of it. You can use C, you can use whatever you want it. But each person, because they're also charging a one-time registration fee. So we're having K, whatever the cost of the class is, plus $20. So that is what each person is going to pay. There are 6 of them, and we can figure out that if there's 6 people all paying the same amount, well, we can represent repeated addition through multiplying. So that's how we can do 6 times K plus 20. The total cost for all 6 was $150. So this is representing it. Now, if you, on your test, because it will be open-ended, if you wrote it as 6K plus 120, and you actually did the next step where you said, okay, well, each person is being charged $20 registration fee, or 6 of them, so that's $120. If you did that, do it like this as well, you would be considered correct. Either one of these two would be right, because it's the cost of the kickboxing. There's 6 friends, and each of them are paying a one-time registration fee. Now, it doesn't say that they have all registered before, because it says 6 friends each registered and took a kickboxing class. So they're telling you there that they are registering and doing the class. It doesn't say that 6 friends had already registered, which then means we wouldn't have to take in consideration that $20. So from here, we're solving. We subtract 120 from both sides. So 6K is equal to 30 divided by 6. So K is equal to 5. So it means each kickboxing class costs $5. So D will be our answer. And this is how we would represent it as an equation. Since it would be very clear that either they had already pre-registered and they didn't need to do it again, but it says 6 friends each registered. So it means they all are doing it for the first time. All right, that is it for this video.